has made his position. He came out in close to 26 well spelled out points to give his appraisal of what the answer has been and what are the way forward. With me here in the studio is a crack team of men. They have not changed. Dr. Busi Enes from the University of Buea, Mr. S.K. Kufo, a legal practitioner, and Mr. Item Armstrong, a jurist, are still here to pour more sense onto you. Stay with us as we go to S.K. Kufo this time around to start talking about the response from the President of Nigeria, His Excellency Buhari. What did you capture from his outing?
There's a lot of things he spelled out in his 26 points to the nation.
Okay.
I want to say that he spoke like a father. It is true that people are right to have their grievances. And when you have your grievances, you should be made it known. And one thing I want to applaud him is when he cited the Constitution to say protest is a democratical right which is enshrined in their constitution and must be respected. And the youth took that option, and he wants to assure them that their cry has been heard loud and clear, which means it is not mistaken, for they have known what actually the youth want. And stopping SARS was an aspect. Again, he cited something into it, that the youth started on a good path, calling something that was legal right for them to do, but along the way they were being infiltrated, and because of these infiltrators, that is why life has been lost, of which I have to share that view with him, because we have seen that tribal...
Is it not the slogan used by all politicians in Africa that the protests have been infiltrated?
No, most of the time it is being infiltrated by different politicians for personal gains. I want to say that it's as much as I really stand against aging governance as the leader of the strength of the youth movement and stand forth for youthful dominance. There is one thing: I stand for Pan-Africanism and for the statehood of Africa, which means we must not destroy, because if you are not there today, I come tomorrow, I should continue from where you stop. I should not start building from scratch. But when we see the youth start blocking the airport, distorting flights, because the president made it, flight was distorted, which means foreigners were distorted not to travel. That again has a huge effect into a country, because...
Is there any revolution with flowers at home?
No, let me be frank with you. You should be able to talk the difference between revolution and protest. I want to say those are context, those are terminologies that should not be used for synonyms. One supersedes the others. So protest may not necessarily mean revolution, but a revolution may. No. I am
asking for reform.
I am saying that they are not synonymous terminologies. So we should know how to use them contextually. For without this said and done, I am saying their action may hamper the nation, stopping flight and stopping and breaking down aspect. We get that even the palace of an Oba in Lagos was being attacked. Which one thing we Africans have heard generational wise is that the palace of our funds, I'm putting it from our own context here, Africa wise.
What do you make of the 26? I really want to
27.
Okay, 27 points.
I am sorting them out. I am generalizing it, because for me to go point after the other, it will take a lot of time. So I am generalizing it and I'm summarizing them. So it is in summary. I started by saying
you stand with all his points.
I stand with all his points.
Okay.
I started by quoting one thing that touches me, asserting it that it's their democratical right for them to protest, enshrined by the Constitution, and they have the right. And that is why when they went out, they were not being disturbed. But they had the Constitution also gives provision not to disturb the duties of other citizens. But when the infiltrators came in, we saw arson. We saw arson coming into the place. And when that in any country, when there is arson, it changes the face of whatever was going on. We saw the palace of the Oba.
I'll be back.
Just give me land, Mr. Njomo. I don't think I will continue. We saw the palace of the Oba being desecrated. That is something we the Africans were not being trained of. Anytime you are going to a foreign palace, you go there with humility and humbleness. And the palaces of our local leaders or our forms have been an area where peace itself generates from. So attacking the palace of the Oba tells you that infiltrators have come in, and we are seeing things going now to be on tribal and zonal line. We are seeing something like it is becoming the South-South against the Fulani community. So we are seeing a division already into that. We are saying that the solidarity and unity of Nigeria is already being threatened because of people who have infiltrated with their own political aspect. And what we are saying like this, we want to say Cameroonians are copying. I want to say a copy and paste is good. but it must be edited. Why are we saying it should be edited? Not everything you copy, you must analyze it, because we saw from it. I don't know if you're going to give me time. Your hand is indicating.
I want to bring Doctor into this.
It's okay, Mr. Njomo.
Doctor, Nigeria themselves are still very expectant because the 27 point did not apologize for all the fatality and
no, he did.
Mr.
Njomo, he did.
He apologized.
Condone those who
lost their life. He did.
Actually, we expected him. It was not only life that was lost. Okay, we had people, businesses that were rushed down. He spent time in his outing. He spent time stigmatizing the protester and put all the blames on the infiltrators. If you read within the lines, Doctor.
If you read within the line, he said the youths who started the race, who started the demonstration, their ideologies were perfect.
Right.
But he was saying that some other youths, other protesters hijacked the protest to destroy state properties.
When they're off street lights, excuse me, Doctor, let me make a point. When the policemen, the military, off street lights, Alekie toll gates, and started shooting, what do you expect the people to do? Who started the violence?
Mr. Moderator, last
program, those were elements that he did not bring light on. He only shifted the blame all.
No, he condemned those policemen who were brutalizing. He condemned it, and that the law will take its full course about that. He condemned. Let's be honest. People in the Nigerian constitution, it is the right for the people to demonstrate.
Article 48.
And the president made mention of that, but not destruction. And the president also said that he will see to it that the problems of policemen in Nigeria is taken care of, especially their salary. He will see that
Nigeria tear of those policies.
He will see that their salaries are. It's a speech. They wanted him to talk, but he's talking now. Let's hear from the days ahead. They will see whether this problem will be solved. So I think that when you look at the main point of Nigeria was NSAS.
Right.
This anti-squad robbery squad, NSAS, and this SARS has been disbanded. They have banned SARS in Nigeria. But what the demonstrator went for, there were about 5 points.
They needed more reforms.
And some even started with Buhari must go down. There must a change of president, which no president on earth will accept that. Democratically elected. And I feel that, Mr. Moderator, we are always calling for peace and justice.
Right.
And we feel that the outing of the president is already, there was some point that indicated justice there. Okay. And we pray that in the days ahead, let there be peace and justice.
Buhari came forth and elaborated, gave a resume of all his achievements. Like employment has increased during his mandate. He has created so many commissions that has benefited young people, and so he is taken by shock to see this number of grievances on the street. Do you see logic into what President Buhari was trying to mention?
Life is not all about achievements. Okay. Life is more about living to hope for more. Okay. Because you might achieve today. If you ask Buhari today, why can he not step down as most Nigeria ask him to step down?
He was democratically elected.
It's simply because he is aiming to have more.
He was plebiscite by the people.
I am not refusing.
Okay.
There are presidents in Africa and the world at large who stepped down voluntarily, despite the fact that there were some costs in the background for him to continue. Buhari made mention in his statement that about 69 Nigerians were killed, civilians were killed alongside military during the protest. And Amnesty International reported of 82.
Okay.
This is a massive human destruction that at least everybody with human feelings will not sit in his house.
And the governor of Lagos was saying that there was no fatality.
No, those are political statements that should not be tolerated. That is why, because of these fatalities, the narratives have changed. Now people stay in their house.
Right.
At first, they were blocking major roads and airports, like you mentioned here, but now the narratives have changed. They stay in their house. Let me tell you, when the Anglophone crisis started, it was more or less asking for teachers within the school milieu, academic milieu, for there to be reforms, and within the legal milieu, for there to be reforms. But because the politician stood quiet and they gave a lot of room for people to hamper grievances in their mind. That is why they went to extreme. And that is why even these SARS, you will realize that there were people carrying placards,
Right.
divide Nigeria. Buhari must go down. Buhari is a living ghost. And all sort of statements. Why? Because they expected a father of that nature to come out in the early phase. One thing I hate about African leaders.
No, don't hate, please.
No,
You
let
don't
me tell you.
dislike.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
One thing I dislike, if I might use a
Thank
terminology,
you.
but it's almost the same thing. I dislike about African politicians is that they always struggle to try the military option.
Okay.
Let me see if my military will calm them down. And when the military go to the field, they don't joke. SARS.
But
Who is SARS?
military are there for peace and
Yeah,
order.
who is SARS?
Public
SARS
peace and
was
order.
just the special anti-robbery squadron.
Right.
That was cracking down on innocent civilians. You realize that civilians who were living well, flashy cars,
Yes.
who were having flashy laptops,
Yes.
who were dressing well. Like, Nigeria is good with you have many young people like actresses,
Yes.
actors who have made their hard-earned
Internet
money.
tycoons.
Yeah, hard-earned money from their own stress.
Right.
When they move now to the street, they dress very funny because they want to show their largesse.
That is
In
similar to
sense,
what police people do to scammer here in Buya. So they were being looked upon like scammers.
No, you don't look at them as scammers. Even if it's scamming, not so.
You don't brutalize.
You don't brutalize. There is a statement in law that nobody should be should be condemned on heard. That audio uttering pattern.
Okay.
You should not be condemned without being heard. Okay. So I want to say that in Nigeria there was an anti-torture legislation passed in 2017 that was just, I think, 3 years to 2020. That would have at least be a guiding principle to the Nigerian military force. Let me tell you, the Nigerians are people who have not been used to military brutality. They were used to cult leaders, where a cult leader can control a particular locality whatsoever he
But we
says,
know of the
stand.
Biafra War
But,
in
just-
1966 that took over Nigeria up to 1969.
Yeah, the Biafra War was not a war between the military and the civilian. It was a war between the government and a fraction of the
Well, it's
society and another
tribal
fraction.
war.
Yeah, so I want to say that this issue, Buhari made it clear that even though, like SK Kufo said, even though the people came out with good grievances, but they will not accept any form of hooligans.
Okay, Dr. Busi, moving out of this topic and rounding up today's edition, can we say that the outing of the president was necessary?
I think that it was very, very necessary.
Okay.
In times of demonstration, in times of chaos, in times of pain, in times of psychological trauma, I think that the people elected the president of Nigeria. So it is the responsibility of the president to come out and bring calmness and a positive climate in his country. And he did that. And I think that the reforms should be put in place and he should respect his words so that peace can reign in Nigeria.
Some people think it's because of external pressure that he finally talked to his own people.
There will always be pundits and there will be people who they are specialized in adding fuel into a burning fire. So I for one, I don't say anything without an ample evidence to prove that whether international, I've not seen any document for an international body pressurizing him. I want to say that he took diligence to talk to the people when it is most needed. And I want to say that he spoke his mind as a leader.
Former U.S. S.G. Clinton actually tweeted to call on the President of the Republic and the government authority to listen to the cry of the people on the street.
A tweet is not a formal aspect. Even me, I tweet, but it takes you to read it or not to read it. So when we talk of a formal directives that you've been given that you should do this. Nigeria is a member of the UN. We never saw the UN writing. And for one thing, if we say the Secretary General...
Amnesty International equally called for the end to assault.
An end to assault, we know them of having a double standard when it comes to Africa. And again, to put it, I don't think that the Western world has any right to tell Africans what they should say to their people.
Is it not in the very name of sovereignty that African
I am coming. They don't have dictators? I don't think how many times we have sent message to them for what is happening. They are struggling to bring us homosexuality here. We have not written to their government to tell them not to pass to accept homosexuality.
Since we are rounding up, let me just take this question. It's coming from one of our viewers. If the Nigerian youths have sense, they should not fight back at the military like they are going to be like Cameroon. For Buhari, he is a living corpse. I think this is more of an insult. We are talking of Cameroon has a lot of diplomatic ties with Nigeria, and so please, when we are talking, we should take care of all this bilateral relationship we share with Nigeria.
Okay, there is one thing. The president of Nigeria makes remarks about the neighbors, that we shouldn't just get things and paint our picture of Nigeria. We are talking about governance issue, which we know that the whole of Africa has aspect with governance issue. But the truth is that when a good thing or a right thing is being done, we should be able to appreciate it. Not all the time the Asian people also does wrong. The other times they are also on point. And this time Buhari, the president of Nigeria, was on point to caution the youth. Their grievances was okay. But for them to carry the extent of which they have taken, have actually made the military. There is no sitting president or minister who will sit and allow structures of a nation to be brought down and they sit quiet. Even if I'm sitting in that position, because why? You will die and go, but the nation lives in perpetuity, and there must be things you must leave for the generation to come where they have to continue upon it. So I want to say that it was a very bad step for them to start blocking the airport, attacking palaces, putting flames up and down. And permit me say this, because when he mentioned the neighbors, in his statement, he mentioned his neighbors and the international community. And one of the closest neighbors to Nigeria is Cameroon.
But he's not citing.
No, he did not say. I am saying it as a politician. I'm saying it as a politician because we are a neighbor to Nigeria. So permit me relate this. One thing I want to say is that Cameroonians are good at copy at peace, but we should learn to copy the right thing. For example, we have grievances as Cameroonians, and we saw people putting hashtags and the rest. We want to say that even if the youth will be taking the street in days to come for other things, the thing reform should be done in the government. They should avoid manipulation from background infiltrators who doesn't have the country at heart.
Mr. Item, what is the lesson to be learned out of from both conflicting ends?
I think the highest lesson I learned from the presentation of Buhari is that a
President Buhari, you want
President
to say?
Buhari, a president who comes out to address a particular issue, not on an official date. It means that he saw a day, an ordinary day, with a pains in his heart.
Mr. Biati died on the 29th of September 2019.
No, it was not 29th of what?
Of I think September.
No, it was not official. He was not addressing only this issue. He came out for the traditional days that he used to address. That is why
the 9th of September 2019, when he called for the national major dialogue.
Let me tell you, I want to appreciate Buhari because he did not tarry. He did not take him long. He did not allow a lot of fatalities to happen before he addressed.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, he addressed
he did that in a fortnight.
2 weeks. 2 weeks compared to 4 years or 3 years. Are they synonymous? No. Let me say that I want to also use this opportunity to appreciate Nigeria.
So 4 years?
Nigeria celebrities.
Did you say 4 years?
No, Mr. Moderator,
Let me learn.
He's talking to viewers and I need to understand.
Let me learn. Nigeria celebrities
let's not
who have millions of followers.
Right.
Let me tell you, if people like Davido and many other, Wizkid and many other, as you know, celebrities did not come out to the street, many people wouldn't have followed.
Right.
You know, when your celebrity is on the street, it means that if a man of this status can be going out to the street, who am I?
Gentlemen,
and that is why I want to encourage the artists of Cameroonians and celebrities of Cameroonians to know that the people who have placed them where they are, they need to support them when they are feeling peace.
On our agenda today, we're to talk also about the Cameroon artists that have given a tight response to their fans who were complaining that they are not as proactive as their Nigerian counterpart. Unfortunately, we might not take those topics because of time. Now, I want to take, gentlemen, your last word for today's edition.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I want to use this opportunity to call on justice and peace in Cameroon, because I want to say that our motto is peace, work, fatherland. And I think that for 4 years now, we have been suffering in the Anglophone crisis where people have lost their lives, they have lost their properties. I want to go back home and feel back home, my village. I've missed my village.
You can call it.
So I think that it's high time our government call on another genuine dialogue where all the stakeholders will be there, the separatist leaders, so that we can talk peace. And peace is the way forward. I want to end by also giving my salute to our moderator, Mr. Mwambo William, who is not present today. I want to use this opportunity to also say that President Paul Biya, the legitimate president of the Republic of Cameroon, we pray that may you bring justice and peace in our country. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thanks. And to you, SK Kufo?
Yeah, Mr. Eugene, I want to say that our anthem in Cameroon, the open phrase, is a crying face. Okay. Oh, come. So, you know, there are two types of crying. There are times you cry a joyful cry, and there are times you cry a painful cry. So in the opening of our anthem is a crying. I want to say that we should make that crying aspect to be the joyful part of it and not the painful part of the crying. Why am I saying that? Which means the government of Cameroon should sit up. The youth must not take the example of Nigeria to hit the street. Then it goes out of hand for us to lose lives before the things can be amended. We want to say that the Nigerians have given us a pathway. We have learned. Every time something happens in another part of the world, we learn something from it. And we have learned that the people's power is greater than power that has been taken from the people. True. That is why the president could come out and talk. I want to say that for some time, the Cameroonian youth have been mobilizing. Momentum has been increasing. That's why we see a lot of people who have been silent in Cameroon are able to talk now, like the musicians, other brand and personalities are joining young politicians like myself to talk about the issues that are going on in the country. So I want to say my last word will be that my heart is with my friends in Nigeria for their lost ones. I pray that there should be peace in Nigeria. They are our neighbor, and I want to say that they are one of our number one bilateral partners we have in Cameroon. And if Nigeria has been affected, directly or indirectly, Cameroon is being affected. And if Cameroon is being affected directly or indirectly, so I want to pray that the leaders should know that the youth have a right and their destiny, and the reforms the youth are calling for should be made. And I want to pray that the Cameroonian government also learn to make reforms in Cameroon, that what they used to say in Pidgin, Sikudi du Koko, Menuka du Coffee.
Thanks, SK Kufo. And to you, do you see a future for an Anglophone crisis that just spring after the NSAS protests in Nigeria?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a probability that, Nigerian example of abolishing SARS might contaminate Cameroon. It will be in a positive direction. Because we should endeavor to always listen to the cry of the people.
Right.
Solve their grievances and allow them to continue being the power. Because what is democracy? Democracy is all about the people deciding what they want. It's not all about you, except we want to say that we are dictators. And I know the peace-loving president of Cameroon, His Excellency President Paul Biya, is not a dictator, because he has been in several occasions been listening to the voice of the people. Even in the Anglophone crisis, he has carried out several resolutions in that line. It's just that I am pleading to the head of state, who is a father. You know, when you're coming to a father, you come with a lot of humility. And know that as he's listening to young Cameroonians like us, he will look. My young brothers my young brothers and sisters have died. I cry every time I see some of their graves. And I know that he in his palace, he's also feeling the pain with me, because when his children are crying, a father feels the pain more. I want to say that it's an example to emulate. For Nigeria, I was born in Nigeria. Because Akwaya has been deserted and abandoned, and no roads,